Ladies and gentlemen, Thank you for checking out Baby Duckie. Brand new piece of music here. Came up with that. Stole it from the Doors. This song called 5 to 1. Ended up using a envelope filter on the bass, and it's an auto wah, so you don't really need to move your foot. It just does it for you. That particular piece was I think, was that like the first time we ever played it?
Well, I think we played it here once.
We played it here in our living room one time previously. I don't remember that.
Well, we had to practice it, so I'm sure I played it
We
once.
didn't practice those. I wrote them. I just finished those sequences and did the play along video, and then we went out. We maybe played it once.
Yeah, because I remember sitting here thinking,
So
that sounds like the Doors.
a little background, and I will try to keep this succinct. I had this idea. I mean, we played on the boat. I had a pedal boat. Look for my video that's called Crazy Boat to check the pedal boat out. It's really worth seeing. The amount of unnecessary electronics on the boat is something else. But we wanted to do this for a real long time, which was make music outdoors, make music remote, rather than playing at home with a headphone rig. So I remember doing this in maybe 2003, and we had like karaoke machines and a couple of Casio keyboards, a couple of microphones, and a bass, and the kids. And we set this stuff up. It all had power cables going to one central deep cell battery, and a cop came. After we got everything set up and everything was running and working, and the cop said, "There's no contraptions allowed in the forest preserve, son." No contraptions. So it was canceled. We had an audience. There was like a family with kids, another friend of mine on this Harley that the people came out. So it was a letdown. Now later on we developed, we built some nicer equipment. It was certainly an upgrade on the karaoke machines. I don't think we had any 15s yet, but there were quite a few 12-inch speakers in play, 50 and 100 watt amps as far as the eye can see, and a Cook County Forest Preserve officer named Sanchez, I think he's a 35-year veteran, took it upon himself to kick us out of the county, basically. I mean, he caught us doing it 3 times. Now, in our defense, we always cleaned the areas that we would play in, and we never played where anyone would be using that area. We didn't go on a pavilion. We didn't ever play in an area where the no excess noise would be a nuisance to housing or to anyone. We always went way in the back of some place
Called Hidden. It was
Hidden Pond. Yeah, it's one of the places we played at, and there were quite a few different woods, and that's all in this county called Cook County, which is kind of Chicago, and that area of Cook County has a lot of forest preserves. Some of them happen to be cruising. They're cruising forest preserves where people go in and have clandestine sexual encounters just kind of right behind the tree. And which is fine, but like if we're going to tolerate that, can't we not tolerate a band of a family with little speakers or whatever it may be? I mean, we weren't loud enough to bug anybody except for this guy.
And we weren't like putting on a show for anyone.
So correct. His thing was if I paid the permit, which would have been $350, and that same permit would have enabled me to have donkeys. What do you call it? Cotton candy, like a full-on like fair or festival. That was the permit level for you to have live music. They just don't want it. They don't want it. So, long story short, when we do this, often there are caveats. Is that the right word? I don't know. Whether it be humidity, those little helicopter things that fall down. Remember that time we got bombed out of Millennial Park? People walking dogs, people making rude comments. It's a challenging thing to do, to pull off a remote. And I mean, it's been like wasp nests, garbage. One season they were like, we're not going to empty the garbages, and people were like, let's get a rack of beef or liver and onions in an 8-pound sack and just throw it in the garbage so it rots. So we were like going there with gloves and stuff and taking the waste and moving it to other locations where they had waste disposal on the property. So you never know what you're going to run up against when you do a remote. I'm not complaining. I'm not coming on here playing the little violin. The point I'm trying to make is I never saw it coming that we would be dealing with geese, which is a coincidence that I had written this baby duck. I thought for a second, a baby ducky came to me, and I thought, okay, we'll name it Baby Ducky. Then the device that I play through, the new XMG30, had a firmware update where they fixed the auto wah. And I was like, hey, bow, 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 bow. I should put auto wah on my guitar and put it on the bass. We both have auto wah. And that was at the same time that I named the piece. It all happened at the same thought process. Then we go out on the first remote, and I made a video saying I did what I call a play along. So I have the backing tracks finished for 2 brand new songs, and this is Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. We're going out Saturday morning at 8 a.m. to the remote. When we got to the remote, I noticed a herd. There was like maybe a dozen or 6 pairs of Canadian geese, male and female. And then they had their teeny bopper kids. They weren't baby chicks. They were like teenage. So it was like, I don't know, 40 ducks or more. And they were like on the other side of the canal that separated us, but they were looking. There was like a couple of them who were like the leaders were giving me the stink eye. Then they all jumped in the water, which took minutes for all of them to get in the canal. Then they swim over, and we're playing Baby Duck, and all of a sudden the heads pop up, and Ganti is just beaming. She's so happy that the duckies have come to visit us. Now, what I forgot to tell you was, when we got there this year, the pavilion we play in was covered in poop. Bird poop is really bad for you. If you breathe those particles, I think you could die from it. So, long story short, I clean up all this poop, and then we're playing this song, and here the leader is looking like, you're in our spot, and they're going to come. And I'm thinking, I got brand new multi-effect thing. She's got a pedal board with 7 pedals on it by this time, and like all that's on the ground. They're going to come in and start pooping everywhere. So she's like, yay, duckies. Oh, look at the duckies. And they're mean Canadian geese. So I go out there and I'm like, get out of here. I'm going, shoot, go, get out of here. Because there's people everywhere. There's like couples, you know what I mean, with cell phones, maybe a dog, like cop callers, like Karens, these type of people. So I'm like, like walking over there and like, get out of here. I would go off on the left, and then they would start flanking me and coming in on the right. And she's just like laughing, and it's all echoing out over the water of the pavilion, and I'm going, get it. So eventually I got one of them by standing like right on him and like, just get out of here.
You mentioned that they were like, or whatever.
Oh, they're hissing. With the tongue, and there's spit flying out.
And it was you were only hassling the parents, not the babies.
Yeah, I didn't go after any of the teenagers, because that's when they would start flying and poop bombing and coming in with their feet, take my eyes out, peeing, whatever, radioactive, because this is like...
You were talking about when you went there with your brother?
Yeah, my brother went, my wife said, don't let Uncle Eric talk the kids into going swimming. Because that's his thing, is, oh, we gotta swim. And it's like these quarries are surrounded by like petroleum refineries, and it's all posted like, don't go in the water. So he's like, we gotta go in, we gotta swim, come on. And I'm like, no, I'm not. My daughter was like 3 or something.
The little one, yeah.
So he's like, oh, it's so nice. You guys gotta come in. Yeah, it was nice from all the radiation. He ended up, I called him 3 days later, and he's like, I'm so glad you didn't go in the water. He was like, Leaf, I've got boils everywhere. What a knucklehead. So, yeah, like I said, I didn't want to get any of these Canadian geese, their urine in my eye, blind me or something, these horrible hissing at me. And like I said, it was very difficult to get one of them, one adult. He was like teetering on the edge. It's like, it's a really old man-made canal where they made it with like donkeys and carts, really long whips. And this goose is teetering on the edge of this thing for its dear life. It's like, it does not want to go. And I'm like, get out of here. Like, I'm screaming at this duck. Finally, and he's like going like, am I going to jump in? No, I'm not jumping. Should I jump? Okay, I'm going to go now. No, I'm not going to go. He's like doing this thing with his head. Finally, one of them went in, and like I said, they were flanking me on the right, so I had to run over there and get out. And normally I do this thing when I'm dealing with large birds where I will go, caw, and I'll help my arms. And they respond to that. But I couldn't really do that. So I had to go back and forth and back. And this is like, I have like unbelievable back pain. And it's a day of a remote, so I've carried a bunch of stuff I shouldn't be carrying, and I hurt myself so badly. But we managed to get all the ducks in the water, and we managed to get Canadian geese. We managed to get a good performance of the song Baby Duckie. That being said, I hope you enjoyed Baby Duckie. There should be more uploads from this first remote and additional. We're planning on going back out when the weather's nice. So I hope you are busy or happy with what you're doing. I hope you're trying to stay cool. It's getting a little bit hairy out there. Watch out for those geese. If you have a pet that you're able to physically pick it up and show it some affection, like I've got this cat here, you could hug your pet. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Hey, Kita, will you come by Daddy for a huggy? Was he sleeping? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kita. Oh, I love you. Here's how you do it. You go, hug, 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 hug. I love you, Kita. You're the good friend. Yeah. It's okay, you get down. I'm sorry, Keith. That's what I mean when I say hug your pets. I think I get a lot more out of it than he does. You want a treat? I can work on that. I think I can make that happen for you. Do we have treats? Yeah. Do we have treats? You've got, mix them up. Oh. Chiquibobita's got some treats. I can't give you a lot because Mama's here. She'll get mad at Daddy. Thanks again for watching. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. And peace.